morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It's time to talk about dogs and it's time to learn something. And also, it's time for you to ask your questions about dog training, the issues that you're having with your dog, and overall about dogs in general. Welcome to the show. If it's your first time here, my name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners. And if you're a repeat viewer of the channel, welcome back. Thank you for being here. In this live video, we are going to talk about three main reasons why your dog does not listen to you. There are many reasons why dogs don't listen to us or to you, but I'm going to cover the main three reasons. And meanwhile, if you have any questions, leave those questions in the chat area and I'll be reading them periodically and I will be answering them. All right, so hope everything is going well. Before I start the lesson for the day, I just wanted to also mention um, the program that I have. It's called, let me just share it. It's called the Perfect Dog Plan. So for those who want to have a one-on-one training session with me, wherever in the world you are, this is the perfect opportunity for you to get into this program with me. I have a program that is called a Perfect Dog Plan. I have many students that are working at the moment, and I've had many happy and satisfied students as well. So you could be one of them. It's a program based on training dogs without the use of treats, aversive tools, force, or domination. You have a lifetime access to the program that never expires. You get a weekly coaching call with me, a video learning library that you can go and learn on your own terms and on your own time. It's a fun, simple, effective dog training. All you have to do is to get into this program. You have to figure out if you're a good match for this program, if I am a good match for you. So all you have to do is book a free call with me, which is a video call, and we discuss all these details and we figure out if we are a match to work with each other. So if that's something that you require and you need, you have a dog who's unruly, it's not listening to you, is not behaving properly, uh, you're stressed, you're not happy with what's going on with your dog, this is an opportunity to have solution. I'll be guiding you, I'll be supporting you, and I'll be holding your hand um, 24/7 for lifetime. So if that's something that you're interested, just simply go to sarodogtraining.com. The link is in the description as well, and get set up and let's get going. Right? All right. So why is it that your dog doesn't listen to you? I'm going to start from 3 to 1. Reasons number 3 to 1. Number 3 reason why your dog doesn't listen to you is because simply your dog doesn't know what you're saying or what do you mean when you're saying something. In your mind, you may have this illusion or in this idea that maybe my dog knows, I've trained it, I've taught it, it knows what it means, but it doesn't listen to me. It's basically, I guarantee you that your dog simply doesn't know what you mean, doesn't know what you say. So when you say come here, or when you say stop doing that, or when you say hey, eh, eh, oh, it doesn't know what those mean, right? Simply, it doesn't know. And one of the things that you have to always remember is not to humanize a dog. What I mean by that is when you put human characters in a dog, then you're treating a dog unfairly, and you're not doing it properly. You're not treating your dog properly. So dogs, they don't have this concept that I'm going to fool my dog owner. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to pretend. I'm going to lie. They don't do those stuff. They don't know. It's not part of their system, right? Humans have developed these deficiencies, or these ideas that we can lie and cheat and uh, pretend and all that. But dogs are very honest animals. They will tell you whether they like you or whether they don't like you. You've seen dogs, for example, go to somebody and just, go to them and just walk away. That, quickly they can determine, oh, whether I like this human or not. So they will tell you honestly whether they like you, or they feel good about you or not, or they will come to you and just hang out with you. And they can't lie. They can't pretend that, oh, I like this human or I don't like this human. Or they can't pretend saying, oh, I'm going to listen to the human today, or I'm not going to listen to the human today. So it's you have to understand that they don't cheat, they don't lie, and it's not a human trait that they're trying to be fooling you. So number three reason that your dog doesn't listen to you is because they don't know what you're saying. They don't understand. They haven't learned exactly that word that you expect them to respond to. Even though you think, okay, I know my dog knows its name, Rover, come, and I've done this many times, but he or she decides not to come this time or anything like that, is just because simply Rover doesn't know what you mean, what you're saying. Okay, so that's number three reason why your dog doesn't listen to you. Let me just remove this. And Gene Tarwater is in the house. Greeting from Chicago. I think you mean a year and a half. A year and a half old female beagle that I adopted 4 months ago. She's delightful. Welcome to the live show, Jean. Jean is one of my students, and she's working on her adopted beagle. I hope everything is going well. She's wonderful. She's beagles are wonderful beagle breeds, and also I'm so glad that you have adopted a beagle and you're working on her and you're working on your relationship, and I hope you're benefiting from the program and you're enjoying the quality and the content that you're getting in the program. um, let's go to reason number two. Bring reason number two. So number two reason why your dog doesn't listen to you is because you haven't trained your dog enough. And I put in parentheses on leash training. Many dog owners, they skip, first of all, training their dogs, right? They skip that part of uh, the formula. They don't consider training to be important enough for the dog. So they skip, first of all, the training part of their dog. And you have to consider that you have to train your dog enough for your dog to understand exactly what do you mean and what that word means and what the entire concept of uh, communication is between you and your dog. If you're not training your dog enough, then you shouldn't have expectation from your dog to listen to you. There is enough. What I mean by enough is you have to invest at least 6 months to a year to train a dog. That's the realistic way of looking at the dog training, right? It takes that long for a dog to learn the entire communication system between you and your dog. You know, every individual is different. Every individual that has a dog, you know, the connection that I have with my dogs is different than the connection that you have with your dog. The way you connect and the way you communicate to your dog, the way you live with your dog is different than me with my dogs, right? So what I mean by that is, for example, if my dogs are doing something wrong that I don't want, for instance, I would say, Rover, no. But you, on the other hand, maybe you have taught or got used to the idea of when your dog is doing something wrong, you say, right? So the way you communicate to your dog is different than others, different than me, different than uh, all other dog owners. So the relationship that you have with your dog is different, and your dog has to learn that concept, you know, that lifestyle. It has to learn that form of um, living and communication and understand you, right? So it could be that, uh, let's say, if I am there with you, with your dog, and you have taught your dog to respond to if I come and say no, your dog is not going to respond to no, right? Because your dog has been trained and you is used to responding to right? So first of all, you have to train your dog enough that you say, I am 100% sure and confident that my dog is trained and knows exactly what I say. If you see that your dog is not listening to you, that's a signal to you that you haven't trained your dog enough. It needs more training. So you're on the 6 months timeline and you see that your dog's still not listening to you, maybe you have to go for 8 months. Maybe you have to go for a year, right? So you have to extend the training period. And the other thing that I wanted to emphasize as well, and I put it in parentheses, on leash training. Many dog owners, they skip the part of on leash training. Um, when you're training your dog, you should be considering a period of time that you start in the beginning, especially in the beginning, you start training your dog on a leash. And then there's a period of time that you're training your dog on a long leash. And then at the end, there's a period of time of training that you're training your dog off leash. I think many dog owners, again, either they do it in the wrong order or they don't do it properly or they don't do it at all or they mix it up. They start with the off leash training and then they may put it on leash and see, okay, is it working? It's not working. Let's put it on long leash and maybe go back to off leash. So when you do that, it messes up the formula. Uh, in the upcoming videos, I'm gonna actually, there's a video that I'm making and I'm working on it that I'm gonna show you that how important the leash training is. Actually, the video that I'm gonna be uploading tomorrow is going to give you a hint and give you a little bit of clue of how important it is to train a dog on leash and then off leash. So the reason you're not getting results or your dog is not listening to you is mainly, I would say, because you haven't trained enough, you trained your dog enough, but also you haven't trained your dog on leash enough. When you have a dog trained on a on leash platform, on leash style, uh, you have more control to implement and have impact in the training. But when you off leash the dog, off leash train a dog, the dog doesn't learn as fast as you need it needs to, and as fast as you want. Because when a dog is off leash, it has the choice of not listening to you and not learning. But when you put the dog on a leash, it has no choice but to learn. So the longer period you train your dog on a leash, the better it is for the dog to learn, and faster it will learn faster. So your 6 months could become 4 months, or your 1 year can become 6 months, depending on each dog and individual. So that's very important also to remember that your dog, the reason it's not listening to you is because you haven't trained enough on leash, and that's why your dog is not listening to you. And the other reason was because you haven't trained enough, therefore your dog doesn't know what you're saying or what you mean, so therefore it doesn't listen to you. I hope it's making sense now, right? So we're going from 3 to 2 and 1. So number 3 was because you have simply your dog doesn't know what you mean and what you say. Number 2, because you haven't trained your dog enough. Let me go to the chat area. And by the way, if you're enjoying this conversation and you're enjoying these lessons and this information, give it a like button, hit the like button, and also share. And we have also John Cipolla, who is one of my students as well, who is eager to please. That's great. That's good to hear. It's fun to see her try to anticipate a command. Very good. Yes, I know what you mean. And I'm glad that Ru is eager to please. That's a natural, that's a good point that you brought, uh, John. Dogs are eager to please humans. They are ideal, I think, so ideal pets for humans. Excuse me for a second. Dogs are ideal pets for humans, and the reason is because dogs have been bred and designed by humans for humans because they please humans. If they were horrible creatures, we wouldn't breed them. They're wonderful animals, they're wonderful creatures. That's why we breed them, because they want to please us, they want to have fun with us, they enjoy our company as well. Let me see. Okay. John says, especially when it's time for her walk, she does not dart out for the door as much. Great. That's the results of training your dog and working on your dog. They start learning what to anticipate, what your expectations are, and what they're supposed to do. And I'm glad that you joined the training and you're working on it, and you're seeing great results as well. Thank you for sharing those. Let's go to number 1 reason why your dog doesn't listen to you. And again, if you're enjoying this content, give it a like button, hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well, and share this video as well if you have friends or family members who have dogs. And also, feel free to ask your questions. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. So, what is the number 1 reason why your dog doesn't listen to you? Unfortunately, it's because you don't have a solid relationship with your dog. This is kind of controversial, maybe. It could be. You're saying, "Hey, Saro, why are you saying that? I love my dog. My dog loves me. We have a great relationship." I'm sure you have a great relationship, no doubt, but it's not perfect, right? We can make it perfect. There's always room to improve and improve the relationship, especially the relationship that we have with our dogs. You know, as humans, we are always working on improving our relationships with our partners, right? With our family members, with our friends, with our neighbors, with our community, right? We are always working on it. We don't, it doesn't mean that we have the perfect relationship. So we're always working on it to make it better. And same applies to our dogs. We can always make it better. Now, why is it that you will think that I'm saying that your dog, you don't have a good relationship and therefore your dog doesn't listen to you? You see, if you had a good relationship with your dog, right, your dog would have um, would have, I would say, listen. Um, your dog would have listened to you. I mean, goal of a dog in general is to please humans. And if they're choosing not to listen to you most of the time or sometimes, that's because you haven't worked on improving the relationship. Let me share the screen. When we are talking about dogs, we say, you know what, I I provide my dog, I love my dog, and I share a lot of affection with my dog. That's the bullet. That's gonna make the relationship bulletproof. Right? I share a lot of affection with my dog. I love my dog, and I feed my dog. Right? I take it for a walk. We have the best relationship. But that's in my opinion, it's kind of not balanced because you're looking at it from your point of view. As a human, we're looking at it from our point of view. And when we are looking at it from our point of view, we are not taking the proper steps to improve the relationship that the dog requires. That's why I have this formula that a dog has daily five essential needs, and your task is to provide those five essential needs for your dog in order for your dogs to be 100% committed to you and be listening to you or be completely in love with you. And again, from humans' point of view, we say, as long as this is, for example, when you're adopting a dog, the adoption center says, as long as you can feed them and walk them, you'll be fine. But that's not it only, right? There's more than life in for dogs in that. There's more than life for dogs, uh, including uh, the humans, right? Humans, for example, if I want to have a good life, I need to have my computer, I need to have my car, I need to have my coffee or wine, glass of wine. I need to have my cell phone, I need to have my house, I need to have my my toys. I need to have my this and that and that and that and that. List goes on in order for me to be healthy, happy, satisfied with my life. But on the other hand, dogs, they don't look for stuff. They're not, they don't look to have a car or a house or anything like that. What they desire and what they require, it's not just food and water. It's more than that. It's exercise, training, socialization, care, and then affection. First of all, this is the order that they need these stuff. There's only five things that your dog needs. Five things, right? If I had gone with a list for the human, it would have been probably 50 things that we need every day in order to be healthy, happy, satisfied with our lives. Whereas dogs, they only need five things every day. And those five things are exercise. You think that you're exercising your dog, but you may be over exercising or you may be under exercising your dog. The other thing is training. Many dog owners, they don't realize that their dog needs training. Training is not just to teach the dog, sit and stay and all that. Training is basically mental stimulation. They need that mental stimulation because we are providing them exercise, which is the physical stimulation. We need to also provide mental stimulation. Now, why are we focusing on providing mental stimulation beside exercise, the physical stimulation? That's because dogs, if they were living on their own and they were living in nature by themselves, they will really get stimulated mentally all day long. That part of the formula is lacking in pet dogs. Dogs are living in a house, the food is provided for them, everything is provided. There is no um, additional things to worry. And the most worry that a dog has is, am I going to get the treats today? That's the only, probably the main worry a dog has, right? Am I gonna hear that treat bag opening up, right? Those are the things that most dogs are basically worried about. So they're not, if they were in nature and they were living on the streets and they were living on their own, they would have worried about, oh, that car is dangerous. I gotta be watching out for that. Oh, that dog may be dangerous, maybe killing me, maybe want to kill me. That thing will kill me. I gotta be careful. I gotta go hide somewhere. Gotta make sure that I'm safe and secure. I gotta solve this problem because I'm gonna have to go from here to there to get my food. First of all, how do I solve this problem? They're gonna be solving problems all day long. But because they're pets, right, they don't get to have that mental stimulation that they require, they need. I hope that is making sense. So not only they need to have their physical stimulation, they need to have their mental stimulation as well. Now, the tip that I have also here is, which one do you would say the dogs need more than the other, physical stimulation or mental stimulation? If you are one of my repeat viewers of the channel, you may know the answer. And if you are one of my students, you know the answer as well. Feel free to share it in the chat area, the answer. Which one do they need the more? The physical stimulation or the mental stimulation? I'll give you a moment to think about it. John Cipolla is saying equal parts. What do you think? Do they need more physical stimulation or do they need more mental stimulation? Think about it. Okay. So let me give you the answer. Let me share the answer. They need more mental stimulation than they need physical stimulation. They need 70% mental stimulation and only 30% physical stimulation. Many dog owners, they do the opposite. Many dog owners, they provide a lot more exercise for a dog and not enough mental stimulation. So you need to focus on, like John Cipolla is saying, um, more puzzle games. Yes, that's a good idea. Gene is saying mental, which mean, which could, let me share this. Gene is saying mental, which could mean sniffing on a walk as well. Yes, I agree with that. And um, that's a great stimulation. Yes, but it's part of physical stimulation. They're going for a walk and they get to sniff. That's a good physical and mental stimulation. Yes, but they need additional mental stimulation as well. Um, John is saying, need more puzzle games. Yes, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. If you could invest in providing more puzzle games, that would be great. But how about training your dog? Training your dog on daily basis, providing problems and allowing them to solve those puzzles. So what do I mean by training and making it more stimulating mentally? So when you tell a dog, for example, to sit and stay, a simple command of sit and stay, right? Today, I can be working on asking my dog to stay for 1 minute, 1 minute, to sit and stay in that position for 1 minute, right? First of all, the challenge is to teach your dog to stay in one position for a minute, right? That's the first challenge. Now, if the dog learns to sit and stay for a minute, then we can ask the dog to sit and stay for 2 minutes. Now we are adding more mental stimulation to our dogs because we are challenging our dogs to go from 1 minute to 2 minutes. So that just simple, training, stimulation of just the command of sit and stay. There are so many things that you can do with your dog, including when you're training your dog, is to make it even more challenging. Maybe stand and stay. The dog has to stand and stay in one position for a minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes. How about lie down and stay for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? You see where we're going? So training can be a great way of stimulating our dogs. And if you're not tapping into that concept of training your dog and stimulating your dog, you're wasting a lot of time, you're wasting a lot of energy stimulating your dog physically. Because most dog owners, they think that if I stimulate my dog physically, my dog is going to be relaxed and calm and it's going to leave me alone. But the proper way of stimulating our dog is mentally stimulating them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't exercise your dog. Your dog needs exercise. Physical exercise is very important both for humans and dogs. So it's a good idea to take your dog for a walk so you get the physical activity and your dog gets that physical activity. But don't go over an hour a day, for example. Do a half an hour maximum of daily training as well. You don't have to go for half an hour every day. You can do 15 minutes of training your dog, especially if you're training your dog using my method of play and praise reward system, which basically we're playing with the dog as that we're training the dog. We're also playing with the dog and training it at the same time, and they have no idea that they're being trained and getting stimulated. If you do that, 15 minutes is more than enough. But if you're training using treats and just feeding your dog, sit, stay calm, and keep treating your dog, that's not stimulating at all. That's not proper way of training dogs. That doesn't stimulate the dog as much as it will stimulate if the dog is being trained using play and praise. So we understood now that we need to, in order to improve our relationship so our dogs would be listening to us, is to exercise them properly and train them. And then other thing that a dog needs is socialization. Many dog owners skip this part because one, maybe because their dog is not behaving properly with other dogs. So they don't socialize the dog. Maybe the dog is not social with humans. So they don't socialize the dog. Maybe the dog is aggressive or too much to handle around other people and other dogs. So therefore, the human is skipping this part of socializing the dog. So that could be also a problem. If you're not allowing your dog to socialize properly and learn how to socialize with other dogs and humans, and if you have a dog who's reactive, too much, it's too much to handle around other dogs and other humans, then you have to work on the skills to improve your dog's uh, social skills. So, how do you improve your dog's social skills? By providing enough exercise and doing a lot of training, mental stimulation, which is going to empower you and empower your dog to be uh, more social and learn how to be social and improve its social skills. And the next thing is that your dog needs for in order for you to improve your dog's relationship with you is care. Care is not just to feed the dog. It is to brush the dog, to take care of the dog, to walk the dog, yes, exercise, but walk the dog, allow the dog to be uh, cared for. All nails trimming, brushing, grooming, nice bed, good lifestyle, right? Care. That's what it means. And the last thing a dog needs is affection. Last thing a dog needs is affection because, again, dogs need affection. Dogs have been bred and designed by humans for humans because we love them and they love us, and we have to share affection with our dogs. If we don't, then there's a problem. So we have to be able to share affection. But most dog owners, what they do is they focus on affection the most and feeding the dog, taking care of the dog, and they skip some of these or they don't do it properly. So for example, first thing in the morning should be your duty should be exercising your dog however you can. Is it a walk that your dog enjoys? Take it for a walk. Is your dog enjoying playing some form of game? Provide that game for your dog to exercise its body, its mind, its soul to go out, get some sun, get some connection to the ground, so it can earth do earthing, you know, get your dog to be, you know, connected to nature. Allow the dog first thing in the morning to go for a exercise, have some form of exercise, physical activity. And then meanwhile, you can do some training, or you can come home and do some, training with your dog. Again, training using play and praise reward system is much more effective than training with treats. So that's something that you want to focus on. And then during the day, also allow your dog to socialize with other animals and other humans, other dogs, and all that. Then when you come home, you feed them, you take care of them, you brush them, you clean them up, you love, and then you love them. You know what I mean? That's when it's ideal time to share affection. That's the ideal time to give love to your dog. But don't give love to your dog first thing in the morning. That shouldn't be the first thing. First thing should be exercise, and then some training, some socialization, and then care, and then affection. So if you do this, then you're going to have a dog, and you're going to have a good relationship with your dog, and therefore your dog is going to listen to you better. So let's recap. Why is it that our dogs don't listen to us? So number three reason is because your dog simply doesn't know what you say or what you mean, right? You haven't trained your dog enough. Therefore, your dog doesn't know what you're saying. And the reason you haven't trained your dog enough, because you haven't focused on building and improving the relationship that you have with your dog. And how do you improve the relationship with your dog? By following my dog's daily 5 essential needs formula, by providing exercise, proper form of training, socialization, care, and affection. I hope that makes sense. I hope you learned something out of this uh, presentation. Uh, it's very simple. As I said, there are so many other reasons why your dog doesn't listen to you, but is the main reasons are those three reasons. Let's go to the chat area and see what's going on. John says, especially when it's time to not door. Yeah, she will sit on her own before I open the knob. Yes, that's great. That's the thing we want our dog to learn, that to give us automatically the behavior that we want for the behavior that we expect. So what I mean by that, so you see, you don't have to reward a dog, and you shouldn't be looking at rewards only from a treat point of view. Treats are not the only rewards for dogs. So in this case, for example, for Rue, going for a walk is the treat, is the reward. So Rue is giving the behavior that the dad wants. So the dad is rewarding the dog with the reward of going for a walk. So that's a great, I would say, great interaction, right? Great way of training a dog. I take Rue to the dog park, walk around the pond. That's their She loves sniffing everything. I give her time on the 50-foot leash. It's like she is not on leash. Very good. Again, I always suggest to do the basics before you move on to the long leash. Here's another great idea. It's not that I'm against giving treats to dogs or food. You know, you can use food as a training tool, not the reward. As long as you're not using treats as a reward, you should be okay. But I love this idea to hide food around the house and let the dog to find it. You know, that is using treats not to reward the dog, but using treats to train the dog, to be more. Yeah, it allows the dog to be mentally stimulated as well. I like to do the sit and stay with other people outside that she can see. Yes, that's a great idea to, again, a reward for a dog to greet people and say hi to them, right? Um, it's a good idea. Here, if you give me a sit and stay, maybe I'll let you greet people. Jean is saying, I love to do the advanced training with dogs, but it will take time with Lucy. She's a hunter. Yes. So, whenever you're adopting a dog, you're you have certain challenges that comes with, adopting a dog. First of all, because a dog, especially if they're, let's say, 9 months old, a year and a half old, and you adopt a dog, that dog has already established a lifestyle, characteristics. So it's got used to a system of life. And to undo it or to override it, it will take some time. But if you do your part, you do as I explained, focus on providing Lucy's daily five essential needs, which are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection, and not much of exercise, especially if you feel that Lucy is a hunter. You should be focusing on mental stimulation. So when here's a clue: when we are dealing with a beagle who or a dog who has hunting uh, abilities and is bred for hunting, or is giving you the signals that is ideal for hunting, that's a signal to you that it needs more mental stimulation. The reason she's investing a lot in hunting is because she wants to get stimulated, and mainly it wants to be stimulated mentally. So with training, you can not only tap into Lucy's uh, drive and control it, but you will start gaining control over Lucy. So it's it's like, if a dog, if a kid loves to eat and you take it to the candy store, they will go crazy, right? So if you have a hunter and you take it for walks, it's like putting them in the candy store. Instead, we want to control that kid in the house and in areas that we can control the situation, and teach that kid or that dog to be under control of us. So we have 80, 90, 100% control over that dog and then put it in the candy store. You know what I mean? Hope that makes sense. So focus mainly on training, especially if you have a hunter who's driven by hunting. Focus on training. So in your case, for example, I would say even half an hour of walk is good enough for now, but 1 hour of training would be ideal, right? More invest more on training and invest less on walking for time being, for the next few months. That would be my other suggestion. Rue loves to getting on her back, getting on her belly rub on her own. That's funny. That's good. Uh, Gold Miner James says good morning, and to me and to everyone. Thank you for being here, Gold Miner. Let me see. There was something. Never I love to go and meet and greet the neighbors with her. She has the cutest way to greet someone. Hmm. Gold Miner Jam says, good to see Saro has his coffee. Just poured more. Well, cheers. Thank you for being here. I love my coffee in the morning as well. Um, it's the only thing that gets me going. Rue wants to fetch more than anything else. That's how she gets her exercise. I train her in between. Very good. Fetch is a great game to play with dogs and train them at the same time. I love fetch. I use fetch to train my dogs. It's possible to teach and train a beagle to fetch as well. Thank you. Yes. Feel free to hit the like button, smash the like button, everybody. Thank you for reminding me, Gold Miner James. Uh, she brings me her toy and puts the toy over my shoulder. Oh, so you're sitting on the couch and you throw it. That's an easy way of entertaining and exercising a dog. I love that. Let me see. Yeah, it's very fun to teach a dog fetch game, and I've taught my dogs, fetch the game of fetch. And let me see if I can find a video of Annie playing fetch. Don't have any clip at the moment, but yeah, it's fun. Gold Miner James is asking, Sarah, where do you live? I live in British Columbia, in the Kootenays in British Columbia, in Canada. Kootenays, British Columbia, Canada. We have a question. Ganja. I know my dog loves me because if I give him a treat before I leave the house, he won't eat it until I get back. Oh, that is that is sweet. That is very sweet. And also, not only it tells you that your dog loves you more than he loves treats, it tells you that your dog is that's a clear proof that dogs are not food motivated. And I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because all dog owners, they think, oh, if I give the best treat in the world to my dog, and my dog is going to love me more. But no, you are the best treat in the world for your dog. Yes, it's his way of saying, I'd rather go out with you than getting the, you know, yes, he would rather be with you than, getting the treats. And that's the thing, uh, there are, that's the beauty of dogs, that, as I always say, dogs have been bred and designed by humans for humans, because they're wonderful animals, right? And they are the best friends and best pets to have with us, right? And we are very fortunate to have the option and opportunity to have a dog in our lives, to be able to have a dog in our lives, and because they're wonderful animals, they love us more than we love them. They love us, you know, unlimited. They love us really for simple reasons, and they give us 100% back. Yes, unconditional. They love us unconditionally, and we forget all these, and we start exchanging with them with treats and food, thinking that that's gonna buy us the love that we desire from our dogs, not knowing that um, they love us just because. Thank you for sharing that with us, Gold Ganja. Thank you for sharing that with us. And that's a great point that you brought. Gold Miner James is, oh, you're from Kelowna right now. Okay. You're in Kelowna. I don't think you are from Kelowna, but you're in Kelowna now. Kelowna is nearby. Love it there. Um, yes, it's time for me to take the dog for a walk and exercise as well. All the best to you. Thank you for being here. And I hope you enjoyed today's live session. I had fun. I always have fun coming and talking about dogs with you. Um, and hopefully you enjoyed today's program, today's show, today's live show. Again, if you want to work with me, and if you have challenges and struggling with your dog, and you don't know what you're supposed to do, and you can't get the results that you want, and you need a help and a support, all you have to do is set up a video call with me. Let's talk about it. Let's see if I can help you, if I have the solutions. It's up to you if you want to, use these solutions and benefit from them. All you have to do is apply at the link below. The link is in the description, that we can set up a video call and talk about it and see if we could help each other. I when I help when I help dog owners, they help me to motivate and continue on doing what I love to do. And that's why I'm saying, we can help each other. Jean is saying, I don't have a fenced yard, so I have to walk her 3 times a day to go potty. My vet doesn't want less. Lucy will not potty in my yard at this time, plus she can hold it at least 20 hours. Yeah, so I'm not saying don't walk Lucy at all. What I'm saying is, yes, at least for potty reasons, walk her. You don't you have to walk her anyways for her to do her business. Probably She has developed that system in her body, in her mindset already, that I have to go for walks in order to do my business. So that's normal. You take her for potty walks, but they shouldn't be the main exercise form of exercise. I would suggest to focus on mental exercise, mental stimulation. Um, and I agree with the vet. You have to walk her. It doesn't have to be, again, don't focus on, making it the, I would say, the main form of exercise, the walking. The mental stimulation should be mainly. Believe it or not, Annie was like that too, and still she's a little bit like that too, right? But you know, with doing my part and providing my dog's daily five essential needs, she changed. She was like that too. I would take her in the morning out, and she wouldn't do it. I would send her out in the yard, she wouldn't do it. I had to walk her for a while until she would have done it. Again, that's part of, having a rescue dog, right? They have already established a system uh, in their system, in their body, right? In their body and mind and soul. They've already developed, right? And she was like that, and now I can send her in the yard, she'll do and come back, right? Because I've trained, it's not training. It's not, potty training is not training. Potty training, I don't think potty training is actually training. It's just giving a dog a different option and different way of uh, coexisting with humans. So what I mean by that is I tell my dog, here's how I live and how I want you to live with me. So go potty now. And they get used to it, right? Uh, as I said, yes, you can take her for potty walks, but don't focus on exercising, walking as an exercise uh, tool, especially if she's not walking properly and she gets into hunting mode and all that. Then, you know, reduce the exercise of walking, just go for potty walks and mainly focus on training and doing some mental stimulation. The more you do that, the not only she gets trained better and becomes better dog, but also it becomes familiar with her to follow a human, a new human's rules, a new uh, way of living. She starts integrating to your lifestyle, right? And follows your method, your style. And Gold Miner James says, Carpe diem, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Yes. Seize the day. Oh, that's what it means. Seize the day. Okay. All right. Yes, everyone, have a great day. Seize the day. Enjoy the day in this part of the world that I am. Sorry, I didn't turn off. Um, in this part of the world is today is nice and sunny and warm, warmer than days before. I'm going to go for a little walk with my dogs. Enjoy the day. Have fun. I hope you enjoyed this show. I had a great time chatting with you and talking to you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. I have a new video coming up tomorrow. Hopefully, you'll get to watch it. Please watch it, share it, share the channel. Help me to grow this community and this channel. by subscribing to the channel, sharing the channel, and commenting in the comments area, and hitting the like button. All these things motivates the YouTube algorithm as well. It motivates me and helps me to become better at what I do, and gets me motivated to do more and more for you and also for me. Thank you very much. Have fun with your dog. And until next time, don't forget, always say that, have fun with your dog.